Across Ireland, families once feared a sound more than any storm, a cry in the night, not human, not animal, a wail that meant someone in the household would soon die. No footsteps, no shadow, only the scream. They called her the Banshee, and her warning was never ignored. Welcome to timeless Europe, where forgotten legends, dark folklore, and ancient mysteries still speak across the centuries. Tonight, we travel into Irish folklore, into a legend whispered beside hearth fires and carried through lonely valleys. A spirit not of evil, but of warning. Not a killer, but a messenger. A figure feared not because she brings death, but because she announces it. This is the legend of the Banshee of Ireland. Imagine a rural Irish countryside 300 years ago. No electricity, no streetlights, only wind, animals, and distance. Then, in the middle of the night, a scream echoes across the fields. Long, piercing, grief-filled. People would wake instantly, hearts racing, because they believed this sound meant one thing: someone would soon die. Not someday. Soon. This was not considered rumor. It was accepted tradition. The word Banshee comes from the Irish, Bean Sai, meaning woman of the fairy mound. In Celtic belief, fairy mounds were entrances to the other world, the realm of spirits. So the Banshee was not a ghost in the modern horror sense. She was a supernatural being, connected to ancient spirit realms. Older than Christianity. Older than written history in Ireland. She belongs to the oldest layer of Irish belief. Descriptions vary, and that's important, because folklore adapts to region and era. She is sometimes described as an old woman with long white hair, a pale young maiden weeping, a hooded figure in grey, a woman washing clothes at a riverbank, or a shadow with glowing eyes. But one feature remains constant. She is crying. Not screaming in rage, but wailing in sorrow. Because her cry is mourning, before the death happens. Traditionally, the Banshee did not follow everyone. She was said to appear only for certain Irish families, especially old Gaelic lineages. Families with names like O'Neill, O'Brien, O'Connor, O'Grady, O'Toole. In folklore, each great family had its own Banshee spirit watcher, a supernatural mourner tied to bloodline. That makes the legend deeply personal. The Banshee legend may connect to a real Irish mourning practice called keening. Professional mourners, often women, would cry and sing laments at funerals. These cries were emotional, loud, and haunting. Over generations, memory and myth may have blended. Human mourning to supernatural mourner. Folklore often grows from cultural roots. Another related figure appears in Irish legend, the washer at the ford. Witnesses claim to see a woman washing bloody clothes beside a stream, belonging to someone who would soon die. This figure overlaps with the Banshee tradition. Not all death omens scream. Some wash. Symbolism matters deeply in Celtic myth. Why did this legend persist so strongly? Because it gave meaning to sudden death. In times without medical warning signs, death often felt random. The Banshee gave warning shape. She turned chaos into message. Fear becomes easier to accept when it speaks. As Christianity spread through Ireland, the Banshee was reinterpreted, not erased. She became a mourning spirit, a death messenger, a permitted supernatural sign. Unlike demons, she was not considered evil. She mourned with the family. That's a crucial difference. Many accounts describe similar patterns: late night, open window, cold wind, distant cry, dogs howling. Then, news of death arrives within days. Pattern repetition strengthens belief. Belief strengthens memory. Irish folklore collections record families claiming, "Our Banshee cried before every major death." Whether coincidence or interpretation, family memory made the legend real. Folklore survives through testimony, not proof. Unlike many legends, the Banshee is not violent. She does not attack. She does not curse. She does not cause death. She mourns. That makes her unique in European folklore. She is grief given a voice. Other cultures also have death messengers. Scottish Bean Nigh, Welsh Saith, Norse death women spirits. But Ireland's Banshee is the most emotionally defined. She cries, not hunts. Even in the 20th century, people reported hearing unexplained wails, especially in rural areas. Modern explanations include fox cries, wind acoustics, human misinterpretation. But folklore doesn't disappear because of explanations. It adapts. The Banshee represents acceptance of death, emotional preparation, spiritual continuity, family lineage. She is grief, personified. We still tell Banshee stories because death is universal. And warning myths give emotional structure to loss. She turns fear into ritual. The Banshee does not bring death. She brings farewell. A voice from the unseen, mourning before we can. And whether spirit, symbol, or story, her cry still echoes through Irish legend. This has been Timeless Europe, where ancient voices and forgotten legends still speak. If you enjoy dark folklore and historical mysteries, subscribe and join us for the next journey. Because Europe's past is never silent.